welcome to the Homestead. So today we're going to talk about indecisiveness when it comes to buying a homestead. I get a lot of emails, and I'm surprised I haven't done a video on this before, but there are people out there who contact me and they'll say, Zach, I really want to get on a homestead. I just can't make a decision because there's so many things I want, and I just can't find that perfect place. What do you suggest? And I tell them, stop being so picky. Stop being so picky. There's a lot of land out there that's for sale, but some people just need it to be that Shangri-La, perfect place that they have in their mind, envisioned in their mind, and those places just don't exist. You have to understand that you make it perfect by your own work of your hands, your blood, sweat, tears that go into that piece of property. You're never going to find that perfect place that's going to have every single thing you want on it. You have to put the effort forth to bring that, into existence. And if you're not willing to do that, then no homestead for you, That's just what's required. And so I want to go through some things today, and I'm going to give you 10 things starting off on a list to look for in a homestead. And the reality is I want you to find 3 of those 10 things, just 3. Maybe you want to add some more things to that list because, there's some things I missed out on. But I've tried to be as all-encompassing on the important things as possible to give you 10 items to look for in a homestead. All you need to do is pick 3 things. Those 3 things that are most important. If you can find a piece of land when you're shopping out there, that meets just 3, maybe 4, but you're getting into picky territory at that point. Maybe 4, but just 3 things on that list. Pull the trigger. Buy the land. Stop being indecisive. I was talking to somebody last month and they brought this up and I was like, why haven't I done a video on this? And then again, this last week, someone brought it up, in an email and I'm like, why have I not done a video on this? So here it is. Here's the video. Let's start off with the 10 things. Number 1, internet. Do you need a place with internet? This is a big thing for people who want to work remotely. That's a big deal today. I know a lot of homesteaders, they try to work a job off the homestead, and it's really hard for them to be able to get things done. It's a struggle. Some people do, in fact, pull that off, but it's tough. It's difficult to be able to live somewhere that's more rural, and then travel to somewhere that's more in suburbia or in the metro areas to work and have a job. It takes you away from the homestead, things that need to be done. It's hard to have animals and all these other responsibilities on the homestead when you're working and you're always leaving the homestead. So the internet's a big thing today. Can you work remotely? A lot of us can. Okay, so if that's possible, if the internet's big for you, then put that on your list. If it's not, well then don't worry about it. Let's go on to the next one. Building codes, zoning. This is a big one too for a lot of people. Do you really need building codes? Do you not want to have building codes? Some people are like, Zach, I don't care about building codes. I'm going to meet codes anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay, fine. Some people, like me, like liberty, and we like the ability to do whatever we want with our property without having to go get permission from someone else. Maybe that's not you, but that's me. It was a big thing for me. I wanted a place with low population and no building codes, or very little. There are a few small things here in this county, but very few. So if that's a big thing for you, if you want a place with no building codes where you don't have to get permission or pull permits or all this stuff, then put that on your list. Number 3, pasture. Some people really want to have pasture. They have dreams of owning milk cows or beef cattle, sheep, and they want to have pasture to be able to raise those animals and feed them on that land. If that's a big thing for you, put pasture on your list. You want to have a place with pasture. Forest. Some people really have this dream of a hunting paradise where they want to go out and they want to be able to set up deer stands and deer blinds and all this stuff, and they want to be able to hunt. If that's a big thing for you and you want to have forest, or if you want building materials, some people are like, I want to be able to harvest my own timber and use that to build my homestead, so I really want to have forest on my land. If that's a big thing, if that's a must-have for you, put that on the list. Number 5, water sources. A big one, okay? I love these people, God bless them, who build homesteads out in the desert in Arizona or New Mexico, a place where it only rains 9 inches per year. And guys, if the water ever gets turned off, Las Vegas is going to be like zombie land. Move to a place where you get water. They want natural water sources on your land. You want a pond, you want a creek, you want a lake, you want something, natural, existing well structures, already in place on that land. If that's important to you, and in my opinion, it should be like at the top of your list, Is there water available on that land? Or do you live in a place where you can do rain catchment? Right now, we have wells, we have ponds on our homestead, but we get about 50 some inches of rain per year. It's raining right now outside, actually. All of our water consumption now is through rain catchment. I don't need to use my wells. So if you live in a place like that, great. So water, is it important? Do you have water on the homestead or the ability to collect it? Put that on your list. Very, very important. Close to town. I live 30 minutes from the nearest gas station. Okay. For a lot of people, that's like culture shock, big culture shock. They freak out if they're not 5 minutes away from something that's a drive-through. Okay. If that's you, you need to take that into account. I'm definitely an hour away from the nearest Lowe's or Home Depot, type of city where I can get access to all of those things. So if you want to live rural, how rural do you want to live? Is the city park, enough to make you, go crazy because you're too rural? You might not be wanting to move out to the middle of nowhere. So take those into account. How rural do you want to be? How far away from a town do you want to be? Put that on your list. Road access. This can be a big one. I have friends right now who bought land and they didn't realize that there was an easement on their property for a neighbor who's kind of a little bit crazy, and they have to give access to that neighbor, that crazy neighbor, all the time to their property. So do you want a property that has road access? Do you care if there's an easement on your property? Do you care if you have to get an easement from someone else to get to your property? These are important things to think about now. Put them on your list, okay? If you absolutely must have road access to your property, then put that on your list. Very, very important. Raw land. There's some people who email and they're like, Zach, I really want raw land like you did, and just build from the ground up, okay? That's what we did. We bought land, it had nothing on it. No one had lived on this land for 100 years, and we started from the ground up and built everything up. So if that's important to you, put that on your list. If you want to have already, existing infrastructure, put that on your list. But if you're fine with raw land, that's something important that you want to take into account. And then number 9 is existing house. Do you want have an existing house structure on your land, or are you going to build something yourself? Lumber materials right now are astronomical. We are seeing crazy inflation, and it's probably not going to get better. Okay, mathematically, it's impossible for it to get better. I'm just telling you. But maybe you have that forest where you can use your own building materials. Okay, so do you want an existing house structure on your land? Is that important to you or not? Put that on your list if it is. And number 10, and this is something that people don't normally think about, is mineral rights. Mineral rights. A lot of times, the mineral rights to your land that you buy may have been sold off eons ago to some individual, some corporation, some government entity, and you don't have access to that. If someone comes knocking one day and says, hey, we're going to be drilling on the back 40 of your property, or we're going to be drilling, somewhere in your area, we need access to your property. Is that going to be a problem for you? Normally that doesn't happen, without some sort of legal wrangling, but it has been known to happen. Trust me. People have left comments below before about some horror stories. So do you want to own mineral rights to your property? Is that important to you? Some people don't care because it really isn't a problem for a lot of people, but some people, if you do live in a natural resource rich area, it could be a problem. So take that into account. Who owns the mineral rights to the property you're looking for? And the last thing I will mention, this is a kind of a bonus. No matter what you get, no matter what property you find, once you find that property, get a survey done. I've done videos on this before. Very, very important. Get a survey, have an up-to-date survey on all the property lines, know where those property lines are, and maybe even go meet your neighbors and talk with them and become friends with them, and it's good to have good neighborly relations. Okay. So those are the 10 things I'm starting you off with. If you can add more to that list, add more. But then once you're out there shopping, don't be like some of these people who are like, oh, I just can't find everything I'm looking for. I want this, I want that. Realize that many of these things on my list that I'm giving you today can be made yourself. If you really want existing home structure, but you find everything else that you want, you can build the structure. Okay. It may take years to get it exactly the way you want it, but you can do it. Okay, if you find a place where it's mostly forested, but you want pasture, you can hire someone with a dozer to come out and make pasture. Okay, and then get that land ready to be able to grow grass, good grass for your cattle. You can do that. There are certain things maybe you're not going to get exactly perfect, but if you can match just 3 things on your shopping list of things that you really want to have when looking for land, I say pull the trigger. Don't be indecisive. Don't wait forever to find that perfect Shangri-La, because really what's going to happen is we're all dancing around the chairs right now, and the music's going to stop, and someone's going to be left without a chair. Because the economy, I'm telling you, there is no way that this thing is not going to collapse. I saw it back in 2008. It's mathematically impossible for this to recover fully. We are looking at massive hyperinflation that's coming. The genie is out of that bottle, and it ain't going back. The cat is out of the bag, I should say. It ain't going back. Okay, that's what we're looking at. And it's good for you, I think, to get out of the cities, get out of the suburbs, find some rural land, grow your food, raise your animals. It's like printing your own money. And money right now, the US dollar is going towards the day of the dodo bird. It's worthless, absolutely extinct. It's going to be gone, destroyed. So that's what we're looking at. All right, listen, you guys know we like homeschool here. Homeschool while it's still legal. We do homeschool stuff. I had this book sent to me recently. Achoo, I've got the flu. They're not paying me to give a plug for them, but I said, listen, I want to give a plug to you guys. It's Andy Michaels. Her and her husband, I think, work together, and they wrote this book. Amazing. It's amazingly illustrated. Achoo, I've got the flu has no political, side notes in there about crazy V words, It's like I can't say it because I'll get in trouble. But amazingly illustrated, so much fun. My 8-year-old enjoyed reading it. It's probably a little bit too young for my 8-year-old, but he still enjoyed reading it. He's a little bit too old for this, but it's a fun book. Really amazingly illustrated. And I wanted to give them a plug out, because we come across a lot of books, a lot of good books that my kids love reading. I try to get my oldest is really into reading. My youngest, I'm trying to. But, he's struggling a little bit, but he's doing okay. And so I try to find fun books. This is a fun book, and I want to give them a plug. So andymichaels.com. I'll put the link up in the screen or in the description below, and you can check them out and give them a look out. She'll even sign your copy for you before it goes out if you make that mention when you purchase one. So, all right. Achoo, I've got the flu. Check it out. All right, homesteaders, homeschoolers. See you next time on the Homestead. Hey, hit that like button before you go. I really appreciate that. It tells YouTube that people actually watch and enjoy my channel. See you next time on the Homestead. Bye. Hey guys, I'm happy to introduce an American Homestead sponsor, Zervita Zeal. Now, first off, I only accept sponsors from products that I use and believe in. My family uses Zeal mainly because we want to ensure a healthy immune system. You see, it's made up of only whole food concentrates and includes no artificial colors, flavors, or preservatives. The included sweetener is all natural from fruit and the stevia leaf. It's gluten-free, it's vegan, and it's kosher. In 2018, my youngest son was involved in a bike accident that resulted in the surgical removal of his spleen, and that's an important part of his immune system. And because we live on a farm, you can guess that having a healthy immune system for our family is very important. Some of the included ingredients are beetroot, chicory root, turmeric, moringa, blueberries, cranberry, goji berry, milk thistle, ginseng, alfalfa, broccoli, and so much more. It's these natural ingredients that can easily be made into a powerful and tasty drink that my family can make and feel good about. So sign up and give it a try today. Every purchase you make goes to help the homestead so that we can continue to make great homesteading videos for you. Link is in the description below. Go ahead, give it a try. Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American Homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the homestead that we make here on the homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. I'll wait.